from. No matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
The very last, and so I'm so happy you're here. I'm Reverend Mary, in case anybody didn't know, for a couple of new people here. I'm Reverend Mary. Our senior minister, Reverend Tracy, is back east on vacation, kind of a little honeymoon kind of thing. And today we have playing with us, Reverend Drack is our practitioner. And Jeff, our music director and keyboardist. And our guest musician, Rick Dale. So welcome to Claremont Center for Spiritual Living, which is part of the International Centers for Spiritual Living, whose vision is a world that works for everyone. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start. I don't need to light any candles today because they're already lit. I always like to have a little bit of light to get us started, right? So let's take a moment and sit back in our chairs. Just take a deep breath and relax. And allow yourself to move to that quiet place within, where we know all is well and all is God.
And so we breathe in deeply, knowing that the air that we breathe is the air that the person next to us is breathing. That we all share the same air. As we all share the same humanity, all animated by the same magnificent force, we all share this common thread of life within us. And knowing this, we recognize and acknowledge that in our humanity, our sense of perception, our connection to the reality that we know, is all supported through the portals of our eyes and our sense of perception in this world. And these magnificent minds, these tender hearts, and these intelligent minds all create the reality that we swim in with one another playfully day by day. And isn't that amazing? And so we know for ourselves that we are all connected intimately to this source and to one another, and that with each passing day, we experience the gift of life that we are to one another and this force in the world. And so it is. I've got a reading from a book called The Naked Now by Richard Rohr, which I thought was kind of interesting. And he takes a lot of words and terms that some of us may have grown up with, and he gives them a whole new perspective, which I really enjoyed. This chapter is called Conversion, and I thought, conversion, wow, what a different way to see this. So he started out talking about conversion as a crucial idea, and he looks at it so differently. And he said that among the great thinkers who, like so many Jesuits, he said, have inspired him and helped him integrate his study and experience with church politics and science, there's a person that he found very impactful named Bernard Lonergan, and he talks about him a lot. So he says this is healing the observer. There we go. In the face of these great challenges, Lonergan suggested that we needed a new foundation for knowledge, because the old foundations would no longer do. He was fascinated by the scientific mind and method, and rightly felt it had much to offer religion. But he also felt that religion had much to offer science, especially in regard to method and the cleansing of the seer, as in see. While never denying the objectivity of truth, Lonergan claimed that most religious people have an exaggerated view of the objectivity of truth. Yeah, and especially their capacity to understand it. It is a humorous paradox that in a faith that speaks about the journey of following Jesus, Christians claim to have total and absolute truth from the beginning, while scientists, who are supposedly largely atheists and agnostics, are quite willing to work for decades knowing that their theories and hypotheses are merely provisional. Now note that as I'm reading this, he's a Christian, so he's speaking of himself and all of his fellow Christians. So Lonergan taught that the only real way to find objectivity today was to help people clarify and heal their subjectivity. I love that. These words might remind us of the Buddha, but Lonergan gave a very old-fashioned Christian word for that process: conversion. He believed and tried to demonstrate that the process of conversion was itself the great clarifier and was the healing of our own woundedness, neediness, and egocentricity so that true seeing could be possible, insofar as it is possible. He sounded a bit like William Blake. All we need to do is cleanse the doors of perception, and we shall see things as they are, infinite. Authentically converted people would see truth as far as humans are able and would see it in a way that could be shared, at least with other converted people. I know how safe and energized I feel when I am sharing even my most offbeat ideas with truly holy or loving people, or good therapists. Perhaps you know this feeling as well. You know they will understand what you are searching to say. Among antagonistic, insecure, or dualistic people, you always feel unsafe. Lonergan moved from searching for and arguing about airy abstractions to changing the seer himself or herself. This was his new foundation for truth-seeking. This was a remarkable breakthrough for the West. In my opinion, and in part, he learned it from scientists who knew the connection between the seer and the seen. Jesus, not accidentally, sent his apostles to fish for people. We have spent much of our history instead clarifying and defending concepts and organizations, fishing much more for right ideas than people. Lonergan boldly says that conversion is the experience by which one becomes an authentic human being. My assumption would be that human beings attract other human beings to the same level of awareness, just by being, as St. Irenaeus put it, fully alive. This inherent attraction, and not the self-promotion of my ideas versus your ideas, is how we must fish inside of religion. And now, Rick Dale.
God morning. Well, I'll sing really loud then. Well, the year is ending and new one's beginning, so it's time right now to look back and see the stuff and people and things. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some are gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you, and these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
Wow, thank you. What a way to start. So I'm going to put that down. One of these things, about being a little short is, you have all these things that are in your face. So, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. With New Year comes, guess what? New Year's resolutions, right? All those things that we promise and never stick to. Things like going to the gym 5 times a week, eating more kale, learning Swahili. All of these things that we pick and we choose. We think we're going to start ordering salads instead of pizza, right? Well, those New Year's resolutions generally last about as long as a snowman in a heat wave. And why does this happen? Why? I mean, we start off, right? It seems like a good idea at the time to order the salad instead of the pizza, but that's about the last time we do that because it doesn't work. Why does this happen? Well, most of us just aren't that self-disciplined. We think it's going to be great to start ordering those salads, but we really miss the pizza, right? Only a few of us. I have a couple of sisters that are so super disciplined. It's sickening. You just wonder. One of them gave up sugar for a year and stuck to it. You know, when I was 10, I did that for Lent. And that's because my mom didn't buy it, right? And that's about as far as it goes. And but, you know, so what do the rest of us do? How do we make it stick, you know? So I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, why do these decisions just not stick? Some decisions we make stick. Why do our New Year's resolutions don't stick? Well, I think it's because we make a decision based on sort of the effect. You know, I'll go to the gym 5 times a week because, you know, then I'll look good. I may not feel very good, but I'll look good, you know, or I'll eat the kale for the same. We do it for the effect, and we don't make the decision from the root reason or the root cause. So as I was thinking about that, I looked on the computer, and they have this technical term called root cause analysis. You know, whenever there's an issue or something that needs to be changed, you do a root cause analysis. And the root cause analysis, you go back to the beginning, and you say, well, what's the cause? You know, what's the deep reason for this going on? It's sort of like those classes, those exercises in the class where they go, okay, what is it that you want? What is it that you really want? What is it that you really want? And they ask the same question over and over for like 5 minutes until you go deeper and deeper. And you know, what effect do you know, what do you really want to feel deep inside? So the goal of a root cause analysis is first to focus on the hows and the whys. You know, why do I want to do this? The focus on that. And once we've focused on the hows and the whys, then we can go a little bit deeper, and we can look at, you know, the perspective that we want to do, that we want to change. So if I were to say, okay, my choice for the New Year's is I want to be healthy. Not I want to eat this or don't eat that or whatever, but I want to be healthy. So then I wake up every morning and I go, okay, I choose to be healthy today. And I can pick anything I want that's healthy to do, just not the whole day, just something that day, anything that's a good thing. You know, I may do squats during commercials, right? Still watching the same TV for 3 hours, but I'm doing the squats during the commercials. Or I may decide I want to go to the gym, or I may go for a walk. But there's an unlimited number of things that I could choose that day, that moment, that would still honor my root choice. If I choose to be happy and live a life I love, and I choose that when I first wake up in the morning, today I want to live a life I love. What can I do today that I would love to do? And just pick anything that supports that choice. So if we can support that choice, it makes the decision much easier, you know, because setting goals, it's not like, you know, a checklist that we can just check off, because pretty soon it doesn't get on the page, right? So we can't really check it off, but if that's our intention, if we say, my body is a divine temple, what can I do today to honor it? That's a much easier process to do, and that could work through the year. If I just say, I just want to be healthy, and every day I get to pick something completely different. I don't have to go to the gym 5 times a week. I don't have to eat salads till I turn green. My dad used to say, you know, that's rabbit food. Put it over there for the rabbits. So we don't have to make any tough choices. We make the choice to honor and respect ourselves. in whatever way we want to. So we can make a lot of different kinds of root goals. Once we look at the hows and the whys and we can go deeper, then we can look at a resolution that would really stick, as well as our other decisions. You know, Science Mind, we keep saying, change your thinking, change your life. And I mean, we must have heard that more than I've ever even eaten a salad, right? But how come it doesn't just, okay, I'm just going to think different today? Because we don't go back to that root of what it is we're thinking. We think that just this one little thought, you know, this self-deprecating thought, you know, is what it's all about. But if we go to the root of our thinking, if we think that I'm broken, I can take super glue and, you know, go to do the fix-its. You know, I can go take a class, I can go do this, you know, and do all the little fix-its. And where will I be? The same place. Because I haven't really changed anything. But if I start out with a belief that I am whole and perfect right now, it's a lot easier to act whole and perfect if I believe I'm whole and perfect, and I don't have to go to, you know, online classes, you know, at 2 a.m. because they're all over the world, and all of that kind of stuff in order to make me a better person. If I know I'm a good person, I can pick whatever I want that supports that. I can choose to live a life of purpose and then decide what that purpose is, rather than letting somebody out there in some class, some guru on the internet, tell me what purpose is or what my purpose should be. As Reverend Miriam, our oldest assistant minister, used to say, I'm not here to tell you anything new, but to just remind you. I'm not here to tell you how to fix anything. I'm just here to let you remember who you are, the perfect divine expression made by God, out of God. And if we're made by God, out of God, what's there to fix? Now, rose bushes and trees, they grow, but they're perfect. The rose is perfect every stage, right? There's beauty in every single stage. It's the same with us. There is beauty in every single stage. So if we're going to change our thinking, we need to change it to knowing that we are divine intelligence. And if I know that I am divine intelligence, I will know that I act from a place of wisdom. If I know I'm love, I'm going to act from love. If I know that I am peace, all of my words and all of my actions will be peaceful. And the world around me will be. If I know I'm as beautiful as a starry night, any forest, any rose, then I will act for others and myself from a place of beauty. So we're going to that root belief about what we believe about ourselves and what we truly choose for ourselves. So in Science of Mind, we talk about principles of love and peace and beauty and wisdom and joy and power. Yes, power. We can have power. You know, so often we think that power is evil. Power is not. God is the most powerful, you know, unlimited, you know, omnipotence, you know, unlimited power. And if God's within us, that means we are too, right? So if I know that I'm each of these qualities, and if I choose any day, today I choose to honor the beauty in me. How shall I choose to honor the beauty in me? I have unlimited choices. Today I choose to honor the joy in me. How do I choose to honor the joy in me? There's so many different ways, yes, so many different ways to be joyful. And the same with power. If I know I am divine power, then I will act with power, and not a demanding power, but a benevolent power, a loving power. When we were given dominion over the earth, it wasn't go trash the place, right? It meant to nurture and take care of the planet, and that's our power. The Upanishads, Sanskrit text, refers to Brahman, the eternal, conscious, irreducible, infinite, omnipresent, and spiritual core of the universe, finite and yet changing all the time. This same principle, whether it's Hinduism or Buddhism or religious science or Christianity, there is that single, almighty, all-loving, all-wisdom power, and that is within us, available for us. And all of the choices, the unlimited choices, are available to us. And if we just make those choices from those principles, those God qualities that live within us, then all the rest just is easy. There is no need for self-discipline if I'm doing something that I love, if I'm doing something that supports my choice to be happy, to be joyful. It doesn't really take oppressive discipline. It takes just that honoring of that root choice that we have. There's a Tao story about the bell. It's called Strike the Bell with Faith. It says, a new disciple asked the Tao master, how can I get myself ready for the training? Think of me as a bell, says the master. Tap me softly, and you get a tiny ding. Strike me hard, and you receive a loud, roaring chime. Tao is like a bell, and faith is its clapper. Strike the Tao with faith, and the connection reverberates the music of the universe. The harder you strike, the more resonant and beautiful the melody of vibration. And the Tao poem goes, if you open yourself to the Tao will eagerly welcome you. If you open yourself to virtue, virtue will be part of you. If you open yourself to loss, the lost are glad to see you. When you do not trust people, people become untrustworthy. But when we choose from principle, not part of the poem, when we choose from goodness, peace, health, abundance, beauty, joy, divine power, all of these God qualities, those are within us, and we are welcome to it. The divine opens itself to us. So in the Science of Mind, Holmes says, we live in a spiritual universe, such as God is all there is, all possibility, all action. For spirit is the invisible essence and the substance of all form. When we see the world with this awareness, we both create and respond from this awareness. We see past appearances, and into the allness that is, we see past appearances and into the allness that is before us. When we choose from that root cause, from that root principle, we give our choices meaning. And anything that has meaning is easy to do. It's those things that just don't have a lot of meaning that are hard to stick to. So we choose with meaning, we choose with purpose. And yet still, at the same time, we need to remember, if you find yourself in February and the kale is wilted and your gym cart is dusty, be easy on yourself a little, because life is like a salsa dance. You take 1 foot forward and 1 foot back, and sometimes you just turn yourself around aimlessly. But that's life. That's life, right? So be easy on yourself, because it's just a journey. It's a journey of exploration. And as we make these deep choices, and we get to pick different things and try this, and I don't want to do that anymore, and we'll try this. As long as we're sticking to our principles, we can try anything. It's just a journey. Sometimes we stumble. Sometimes we move on, stumbling. Have you ever tried to say quinoa? How many different ways can you say that? And we keep trying. But that's okay. It's a beautiful journey. And, the resolutions, they're not tasks. They're just stepping stones. Just stepping stones into our growth along the way. There's an analogy that a friend of mine likes to use, where you want to get on the other side of the river, and it's just too far to leap over there. So you just sort of throw some rocks in the river, and you can step on each one as you go. And eventually you get there, right? Eventually we all get there. So this time, let's set intentions that nourish ourselves, nourish our bodies, nourish our minds, and commit to being kind and patient with ourselves and with each other as we stumble along the way. And remember that every stumble is an opportunity to grow and to live more fully. So this year, let's try new things. Let's try forgiving and enjoying our journey, and raise our imaginary glasses to this journey, to the journey of joy, of growth, of awe and wonder, and maybe a little bit of cake or kale, depending. So Happy New Year. Enjoy the journey. Thank you. Oh, before we sing, let's take this into a prayer. Let's take this. It kind of feels like, our words that we speak are all a prayer. What we say to ourselves in our mind is a prayer. So let's just take what we've been thinking about this morning, what we've been talking about, this journey of life, and know that we don't do this journey alone, that we do it with the divine. We do it with God inside expressing for us, through us, as us. And so in that knowing, I know that each choice I make with that divine wisdom, with that divine wholeness, with that divine peace and faith, with that divine love and power, that loving power. I make choices that nourish my mind and my body. I make choices that open my heart to those around me. I make choices of peace. I make choices of awe and wonder. And I am so grateful that I never walk alone. And all that I do is whole and perfect in the moment, as God expresses through me. I am grateful for all this life around me. And so it is. Dan.
What a wise woman you are. I think we should clap for her again. Well, I've discovered that the best way to cook kale is in a shallow pan with just enough butter to make it easy to scrape into the trash can. And then I have pizza, but with a salad. New Year's coming, and so I'm going to do a song for you that came to me many years ago called Good Thing Coming. Get ready for the good in everything. Prepare to be boarded by the party of love. Expect to be blown away by what you dream. Turn around and consider where you have been. Now look where you're going. It's your decision. Proceed with open arms. Open the impossible. There's a good thing coming one way or another. A new thought being taught. Give to each other. 'Cause you can't hate someone else and love yourself. So why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good? Get ready for the good. Well, existential is fine when you're driving blind. Just getting by won't suffice to feed your soul. You deserve what you think you do, and you know it. All the good gifts of God are surrounding you. Good, 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 but not too good to believe in. Expect to be blown away by what you're dreaming. There's a good thing coming one way or another. A new thought being taught. Love one another. You can't hate someone else and love yourself. So why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good? Yeah. Get ready for the good, yeah. You are much more than you think you are. The heat of the sun, the light of a star. The best that life offers is what you allow. Are you ready, ready now? There's a good thing coming one way or another. A new thought being taught. Love one another. You can't hate anyone and love yourself. So why don't you open your heart and get ready for the good? Hey. Get ready for the good now. Get ready, 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 'cause it's coming. Oh, get ready for the good. 'Cause there's a good thing coming. A good thing coming. Oh, there's a good thing coming.
You are now. Wow, that was wonderful. So before we get into our announcement, well, the flowers. I've been looking at those flowers today. They are beautiful. Thank you, Chris McDowell. There. Thank you. They're beautiful. Before we get into announcements, let's do our tithing. And I look at this as a choice, too, an opportunity to share, an opportunity to just say thanks for all the blessings that I have received. So if you are with me and ready to say thanks for the blessings and the opportunity, just hold this to your heart and say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I am. All that good stuff. So have some conversation with us back here. And anything that I forgot about, things coming up, anybody knows about? Classes will start probably late January, early February. Reverend Tracy and I'll get together, and we'll talk about what's coming next. So keep tuned in. And if you're interested in a particular class, let one of us know. Okay, not the third, but I mean not the second, but the so they both start the following week. Okay, the 9th and the 10th.
I guess the dance instructors.
Okay, so the 9th and 10th. So you can rest up all week, right? You know, and kind of get your energies going. So I think that's it. I think that's all that we have for today. Affirmation. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do our affirmation before we walk out of here. This is a choice, right? Okay, and I'll get behind the mic because my mic's out. Our affirmation is in the box on the right side. With God as my source and principle as my guide, I choose to be a catalyst for good, for health, wealth, peace, and harmony. And so it is. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Let's kind of dance our way out to some music.
Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, 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 we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life,